Take 2.
Take 10. Take 100.
5. Is Take 5 still a candy bar?
I think so. Or is it gum?
No. Oh, is it gum? Oh.
Take 5?
Remember, like...
No, 5 gum is just gum.
It's just called 5?
Yeah, I think it's just called 5 gum.
Is it called Stride? Is that still a gum?
Probably.
Wasn't that the one back in the day that was like... You'd be in the commercial was like a ball pit of bearings vibrating around you, and it'd be like Stride or 5 gum. I don't know. That's what it feels like when you're chewing this spearmint.
Brandon had a conversation with the fucking convenience store guy about the lack of gum that they sell now.
Oh, boy.
I know.
What was he? Trident, Extra. What was he upset about? What were they missing? Fruity Stripes?
I don't know. I don't know what he was looking
Bubblicious.
for, or if he was looking for something in particular.
All you have is dentine eyes.
But he was like, remember how it used to be like an entire fucking row of gum? And I was like, yeah, I do actually. And now it's just like one little section of gum. And the guy was like, yeah, we don't sell any gum anymore. Like, it's a thing.
Nobody likes gum.
Nobody likes gum. And I'm wondering if it's because less people smoke cigarettes. So then you don't have to have, like, not cigarette breath.
Oh. Maybe.
Like, maybe that's what kept the gum
I
business
single-handedly am keeping the gum business in business with my coffee breath.
Oh, see.
I always have a pack of gum, like, in my work purse or at my desk or something.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than being stuck in a meeting and you're like, God damn, tastes like roasted nuts in this mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you either have to keep drinking it or, like...
Yeah, and when you've hit that point of no return, when you're like, I cannot have another I will die.
God damn!
So, what's your goddamn, Aaron?
Well...
Surprise, surprise!
In a fucking shocking turn of events,
Surprise!
I have gotten sick.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
Could it have been that we participated in a puzzle competition together?
Fucking sitting right next to each other? I don't know. I took so many precautions.
No, you did not. I breathed in your mouth several times that night.
I didn't take a single precaution. I was like, anyway, I'm going to come over. Let's hang out in a shed and talk for fucking 3 hours.
And I was like, you don't want this, but okay.
Okay. Yeah. So,
isn't it awful? Isn't it like the worst cold ever?
Yeah, I'm currently dying a little bit, but I feel like I've gotten off lucky, or I have a different strain than you, and maybe I'll still get that one. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I haven't had I haven't thrown up really or anything, and I don't have the other ends of it. I mean,
you're not shitting out your pissing out your asshole.
Yeah, I kind of do, but I'm also chalking that up to bad life decisions.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
Not just the cold.
Dude, it's been like a week and a half, and I can't eat. When I do, my stomach is like, what the fuck were you thinking? A bagel? Like, get the fuck out of here. So it's been like a lot of applesauce and bananas, and all I want is like a fucking burger, and then I'll take 3 bites of it and be like, I'm gonna literally throw up. And then I pay for it. Like, I'm just in agony for a while till my body tries to digest it.
See, we went to West Coast barbecue or some shit. Oh, that shit was so good.
Oh god,
and
I don't want barbecue.
Biggest fucking chicken bacon burger thing from there. I ate all of it. I mean, in 2 separate sittings, because I'm not a monster.
Because you have restraint.
And I was sick and couldn't physically taast it. So I was like,
isn't that the worst?
Save this.
And you're like, I just want something salty.
Yes. Oh my god. But both times, I mean...
You were fine.
No, but I think I'm chalking that up to a giant fucking barbecued chicken bacon burger. It was probably a mistake, you know?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't been able to eat for like a week and a half still. And I feel considerably better than I did.
Really?
Yeah. And I still feel like now I just feel like I have a common cold.
Yeah. I feel like I've been common colding this whole time.
That's good.
And I can still eat. Yeah. Like, I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
I want it. Yeah. But I can't taste it, so it's not good.
Right. Yeah. Oh, but could you imagine going to work?
No, fuck that.
It's exhausting.
Fuck all of that. I tried to not show up for work at home.
Yeah. Fucking kids were like, Mom, you gotta wake up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, Mom, we're hungry. I'm like, well, so am I. Who's gonna feed us?
I don't know. We're gonna starve. Honestly, that's the worst part. And then I felt better like one day, so I cleaned the entire fucking house and I paid for that for like 3 days. I was like, what have I done?
Brandon keeps doing that too. He's like, feel good for a second. He deep cleaned the whole kitchen. Like doing stuff where it's like, you didn't have to do all that. Like, you didn't have to take the VR down. You had to get a ladder out.
Yeah, like keep dying in bed.
Yeah. And then afterward, he's like, I don't feel good. And I'm like, I am shocked.
I know why.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Seriously. Dude, that's the worst part. That's my goddamn, too, is just, like, trying to get over this. But, like, with children in school, they have called out sick every motherfucking day from the nurse's office. And the way that it impacts my life negatively is, like... astounding when you have work and you have to stop and go get a kid or whatever. And then I'm like, you guys better be fucking dying. And then they get home and they're just like, I just don't feel good. And I'm like, I get it, but you need to sit in that chair and just not feel good because you've missed so much fucking school that they're sending you home with packets now because they want to get their money. And I don't want to do any more goddamn packet work with you. Yeah. Like, you got to be there, homie.
I don't have time. That's why you have a teacher.
Oh my God, seriously. I'm like, why are you giving me packets? My kids were sick. And they're like, well, you have a week to turn it in. I'm like, they were fucking sick. Like, it's not like we're on vacation or some shit. Right. They still don't feel good. So now they're having to do double work. I fucking hate it.
That's
Don't
awful.
even get me started. I tried not to get them a packet, but like the attendance lady specifically called and was like, it's no big deal because that's how they get their fucking money.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
my kids haven't figured out the hack that they can go to the nurse and come home. Like, they've gone to the nurse. My older kid, he goes to the nurse. He's fucking besties with the nurse. Yeah. He knows her by name, right? Oh, they know each other. They wave to each other in the halls when we're leaving. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. But they haven't figured out that you can come home. Like, they'll call and be like, he doesn't feel good. And I'm like, crazy.
That sucks.
Tell him to buck up. I don't know.
Figure it out.
Give him a cold compress. They give him a wet paper towel that he can put on his forehead or his eye or whatever hurts. And then he's like, Mom, better now. I'm going to go back to class. I'm like,
they call me back. And they're like, he's still here. He's been here for like 2 hours. I'm like, God damn it. I guess
send him
I'll
back
go
to
get
class.
him. I
You're
know.
the adult.
I think the teachers just send them right back.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants to fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. He doesn't feel good. Come get your kid.
Oh, man. My kid's teacher is, they all say that they're mean. Not the little one, because that's TK. It's hard. But the older one, he's like, oh, she's so mean. I'm like, I think she's just making you stay in your seat.
I think she's just making you do your work.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I have told both my children that they better be bleeding from their eyes the next time that they call me from the nurse's office. And then that day, my son called me and I was at the office.
Oh, no.
He called me and the nurse was like, he's in here. He's saying he has a headache. Now, this is the second day. Like, he had just gotten picked up the day before.
Uh-oh.
And I get it. He probably really did have a headache because it's always right when the medicine runs out, like on the timer,
Yeah.
But, like, fucking sucks to suck. Go to class with a headache right now. Yeah. I'm an hour and a half away from you, my friend.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And
like,
so
school's going to be over by the time I get there.
Yeah. Like, do not do this to me. I don't feel good. I don't want to be here either. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I was like,
fuck off.
I'm not getting you.
Fuck off.
I did. I told him, I was like, Mommy cannot get you today. I told you I cannot get you today. And then he hung up on me. He said bye and all that. But then it, like, disconnected because I was thinking I would talk to the nurse again and be like, send him back. I don't know. Good luck.
Yeah.
And then I told Leo, I was like, hey, man, your kid's at the nurse's office. I told him I'm not going to get him. And Leo was like, send me the number. And then Lee ended up having to take off work and going to get him. And I'm just like, God damn it. So
I told him I'm not going to get him.
Oh, I'm so over it. I am past mean mom, mean employee, mean anything. I don't fucking care. Leave me alone.
Yeah. It's hard, man.
It's hard in these streets.
It's hard being sick in these streets, too.
Oh, shit. Fuck that. I have lost all give a fucks.
You'll get them back eventually.
I know. Once I get some sleep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with this thing, too, is like you sleep 10 hours and wake up and you're like, I'm still fucking tired.
Oh, my God. I went to bed when the kids go to bed. So they go to bed at 8. I was asleep by 8:30.
Yeah.
Like,
out.
Done.
Yeah.
And I woke up that night at like 3 a.m., right?
I feel great.
The medicine and everything had worn off. And I was like, I think I've gotten my solid 12 hours already. So this is great. And then I slept until like 11 the next morning because Brandon woke up and did all the stuff. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And yet, I'm still fucking sick.
I know. Can you imagine if you didn't sleep, though? You'd probably be sick for years.
Right? Even longer.
I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Don't like it, though.
Don't like it either.
I'll tell you that much.
No.
Oh, God. Okay, well, on that note, do you want to talk about some murder?
Murder, you say?
Perhaps.
Do. Yes.
Okay, this week, I'm going to tell you about Zebb Quinn.
Zebb?
So, not much is known about the before times.
It's like Zebediah?
Yeah, kind of, but just Zebb.
Okay.
Just Zebb.
Just Zebb.
Just Jack.
Just Jack. I have questions, but I'll refrain. They're not important.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't look up the origin of the name or anything. And
See?
Homie's a white dude, so I don't know.
Even more.
I know, right?
Like,
okay.
Is it Zebediah? Is Zebediah a person, or is it just Jebediah?
Girl, you know I'm not educated enough to answer those questions.
I'm
not
not either.
Shit about any Bibles.
I mean...
Or religions. No. I'm assuming it's a religious
I had a lot
name.
of biblical names in my family, so I feel like...
Mary.
Yeah.
Jesus.
John. Jesus. I didn't have any Jesuses.
God, we've been saying it wrong this whole time, too. How embarrassing.
How embarrassing.
All right. So, in January of the 2000...
Whoa, okay.
Zebb Quinn was an 18-year-old American man living in Asheville, North Carolina, making a living working at Walmart.
Okay, good for him.
Right?
Get that job, girl. 19 years old. Whatever. Boy.
Dude, 18.
18.
Close enough.
You know what?
Listen.
It's going to be so hard. I'm so sorry, guys.
You're killing it. This was me last week. This was me last week, and I was like, oh no, actively pay attention to the names. And then I was still fucking them up. And I'm like, that's the most annoying thing to have in a co-host. So I sincerely apologize for whatever happened last week.
Well, I sincerely apologize for whatever's about to happen now.
All right, let's get into it.
All right.
So, North Carolina, 18 years old, Zebb Quinn.
Yes.
Working at Walmart. Yes. I'm not sure where Zebb met this woman, but he meets a woman by the name of Misty Taylor.
Okay.
Maybe it's Tyler.
Probably met her in Pokemon. She's
maybe.
A trainer.
Maybe. Or maybe worked at Walmart or just friends in town. I don't really know. But they meet each other and they start hitting it off. And Zebb really starts taking a liking to Misty.
Okay.
Trouble was that Misty had a boyfriend.
Uh-oh.
And his name is Wesley Smith. Okay? So Misty and Wesley are a thing, but Zebb is starting to really take a liking to Misty, and they're still kind of talking, right?
Okay. Is Misty kind of flirting?
Kind of sounds like it, but I don't know for sure. It's not very confirmed or anything.
Okay. It could be misconstrued.
Right.
All right.
You know, but like, you know how when you're a chick and it's just a guy and you're like, we're just friends.
Yeah.
And really they're just trying to take you to Pound Town and you're like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
I thought we were just friends.
I thought we were just work besties.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be that. Now, it turns out her boyfriend, Wesley, he was a little bit abusive. I don't know how or why or what, but it just said he was an abusive boyfriend.
Uh-oh, don't love that.
Don't love that, especially if we're going to get any kind of jelly rolls around here. You know what I mean? Someone get a little jelly?
Oh,
get jealous?
Yeah.
Jealous
I was like, what's a jelly roll? Is that like a bruise in a particular spot?
Oh my God, maybe.
He gave her a jelly roll. Can you imagine?
Ew. It's like a raspberry.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Once Wesley got word that Zebb was taking an interest in his girl, Misty,
he was like, I'm going to change my ways and treat her right so she knows not to leave.
That's not exactly what he did.
And the story's over.
Yeah, and then we all went home. No. Wesley didn't take too kind to that, and he began to threaten Zebb. Mm-hmm. And I guess it was enough of a threat that it spooked Zebb, and Zebb started telling his family and friends, like, hey, Wesley's over here threatening me just for talking to Misty. Okay, so it's like known that Wesley does not like Zebb.
Okay.
Now, cut to January 2nd, 2000. Zebb was working his shift at the Walmart in the electronics department, and he clocked out of work around 9 p.m.
Okay.
He had plans to head over to Leicester. I'm sure I'm not saying that right, because there's no CH. You know? Who knows? Worcestershire. Whatever we want to call it. But he's going to some other place that's like 15 to 20 minutes away from where his work is. And he's going with his friend and his coworker named Robert Jason Owens so that Zebb could go check out a car. So I guess there was a car that was for sale, and Zebb was like, hey, Robert Jason Owens, will you come with me to check out this car? And Robert Jason Owens was like, fuck yeah, man. We ride after work.
Okay, yeah. What a good friend.
I suppose.
That pre-first name have a motherfucker.
I know. Now, I wrote Robert this whole time, and then at the very end of my research last night, I found out that he went by Jason. So we're going to call him by his Christian name.
Okay, I like it.
Anytime you want to correct me, feel free, but I will probably forget.
Good old Bob Jason.
Exactly. Good old Bob Jason. So, they're going to go look at this car after work.
Okay.
At 9:15 p.m., the pair, Robert and Zebb...
It's kind of late to go look at a car.
Honestly.
Like, are you buying it? Is this from a private owner?
But I remember you and I used to work at a smoothie shop when we were 18, and my curfew was like 4 a.m., so like I always did shit after work.
Yeah, my curfew was 2, and I did too. But
I know, but go look for a car? Probably not, but maybe.
Like, you can't go to a dealership that late. They're not open.
No, I think this was like...
private selling.
I almost feel like maybe Robert had the car that he was selling. I don't really know for sure because I don't know why the fuck he got involved.
He's like, I got an uncle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Ooh,
okay.
Have you heard this story?
No.
There is an uncle.
I'm so smart.
But maybe that's why. I don't know. I didn't dig that deep, but for whatever reason, they were going to go check out this car.
All right. He's like, 9:30 is not too late. Everybody's just getting off work.
That's right. So 9:15 p.m., the pair are seen on surveillance camera at a local gas station buying some sodas.
Okay.
Now,
Jones sodas?
Could you imagine? Yeah, I remember
so
those.
Good.
I would always save the bottles, like hoard my trash.
Right.
Like I need to see the label forever.
I bought this one for the picture, not because it was mango banana.
Yeah, I know. So
Nobody
weird.
wanted the juice in
Nobody
it.
wanted the soda.
They weren't actually good.
No, and they were always dusty because not enough people bought them.
Because there were too many flavors.
Yeah.
They're like, do you want banana cream or cherry fucking whatever? Like, there's 1,000.
Cherry bomb. I knew somebody who loved them, allegedly, and I'm like, you're just saying that.
I feel like they're just saying that, too.
Right.
I thought everyone just bought them for the bottles. And I was like, look at this beautiful photography.
I think so.
And I was like, wow, art and commercialism together. I love it.
Sign my ass up. I want one of those. Who knows if it was Jones Soda? I bet it was fucking Mountain Dew, though. Probably Code Red.
Oh, shit. Man, that was another good one.
I'm speculating.
Blast from the past. In 2000? Yeah, it really could have been a solid Jones Soda or a Code Red.
Yeah, it really could have been. That's the era. Anyway, okay, so they're at the gas station getting
their
sodas.
Surge and their Joneses.
Mm-hmm. And I think they had to gas up, too.
Oh, okay.
So according to Robert Jason Owens, when the pair left the gas station, they were each in their own vehicles, right?
Okay.
And Zebb fled.
Wait, he had a car?
He had a car. He's going to go buy another car? I don't know.
Rolling in cars.
Right? So many vehicles. So as they're leaving, Zebb pulls over to the side of the road and like flags Robert to stop. Like, hey man, I need to talk to you. And so Robert pulls over and Zebb explains that he had just gotten a page. Bum, bum, bum.
Not a page. Did it say boobless?
Probably. Or it was like 911. Nobody knows what the page said or what the message was, but he said that he needed to get to a payphone so that he could call back, right? Like, we have a little snag in our plans here. I got to make a phone call.
Yeah.
Well, Zebb gets to a payphone, and he has a discussion on the phone.
Yes.
And then Robert says that Zebb came back frantic and said that he needed to cancel their plans to go look at the car.
Uh-oh.
And that Zebb had something he needed to take care of.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
But you didn't tell RJO?
No. RJO is none the wiser. He says that Zebb gets in his car, and he speeds off. And in the process of him speeding off, Zebb rear ends Robert's truck.
Bruh.
But then just drives away. Like,
Bruh.
He doesn't even file a police report.
Wait. So
Yeah.
you're out there shopping for a car, and then you're going to actively fuck up your own car?
Yeah.
On the way to get
And your buddy's
another car and your buddy's car? How rude.
How
first
rude
of all.
indeed.
It
But
must have not been, like, bad.
it must have not been bad. And there was no, like, report or anything filed, right? He just drives away.
Well, I mean, Brandon and his friends used to hit each other's cars all the time, and there was never reports filed.
I remember being in line at a bank, and my friend came up behind me in his, like, 2006 Mustang or some fucking fly-ass shit for the day and just revved the engine, and I was, like, pounding the brake, and my car just went through the drive-thru, like, forced me through.
Yeah.
So, yeah, same.
I think Brandon did that to your husband on, like, a train track.
Probably.
Or into a red light.
Yeah.
Like, out into a red light,
Yeah.
and your husband was, like,
Can you
afraid
not?
to run red lights.
Can
And so
you
he's
not
like,
kill
oh,
me?"
no. What am I going to do? And we laughed.
Turn the fucking wheel. That's what you should
Keep
do.
driving. Just go through it. Now you're already in it.
Oh my gosh, how dangerous. Anyway, so
Yeah,
he
but
drives away.
it was the time. It was what we did.
Exactly. So interestingly, Robert was treated at a local hospital that night for fractured ribs and a head injury
The fuck?
that he claims that he had gotten from an unrelated accident that happened that night. So he's like, had to be seen by a doctor because he had allegedly gotten into another accident. But there was no police report filed for any accident that night.
Uh-huh.
But he was seen and treated for injuries, okay?
A fractured rib?
Fractured rib and head injuries.
That's an intense car accident.
Yeah, for
To get a fractured
report
rib?
to not be filed.
Your fucking car would be totaled.
Right? Something's going on. But we don't know what because nothing got filed that night.
Okay.
By the afternoon of January 3rd, so this is the next day after Zebb was last seen on the side of the road,
Yeah.
no one had heard from him or seen him. And so Zebb's mom became immediately concerned and she files a missing person report.
Uh-oh.
Right. 2 days after she files the missing persons report, someone placed a call into the Walmart that Zebb worked at, claiming to be Zebb, saying that he's going to miss his shift because of an illness.
And they're like, you've already missed multiple.
Right? Like, weird. I don't know. Maybe
Why are
it
you
was like
calling
his
now?
Yeah, maybe it was like his 2 days off or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Sure.
Right. But somebody calls in and calls him out sick. Now,
okay,
the coworker
and whoever took that phone call
Right?
was like, "Hey, man, did you know you're missing?
We're looking for you."
Yeah.
I wonder if it had gotten out that much yet. I don't know. I'm sure it would have, right? Like,
No, it would have.
I would think so.
So I had a coworker go missing in Mexico
What?
back in the day, in the early 2000s.
Mhm.
And when he called to call out because he wasn't going to come into work, I was like, "Hey, man, your mom's been calling."
Yeah, we're all concerned.
Also, it's been days. Are you okay? He was fine.
It's like laying low.
No, he had some fucking tire problems, pop tire in Mexico, and then he had to get a new one. I don't know. Some things happened.
Something suddenly came
happened,
up.
and it was very sketchy the way he told this story.
Yeah,
and I was
you're like, that's enough for me to know.
why were you there?
Yeah, I don't need to know anymore.
Go on.
Two different approaches, I see. Okay, so the coworker who took his phone call said that the voice on the other end was not familiar. They were like, that wasn't Zebb's. I know Zebb's voice, and that wasn't him.
Yeah, okay.
The police were able to trace the call
Oh, good.
to a Volvo plant.
A what?
A Volvo.
Like a car plant?
Yeah. Not like Volvo. You know what I mean?
Thank God.
A plant? Oh, God. But like with cars and shit.
Yeah. Okay,
And-
that's weird. Like a plant? What is a plant? Like a factory where they make them?
Yeah, I guess. I suppose.
Those are probably all on the East Coast. That
They
makes
gotta
sense.
be. I don't really know the details. But anyway, it turns out that Robert Jason Owens worked at that plant.
Oh.
Bum, bum, bum. What's up, motherfucker? Why you calling him in?
Oh, shit,
That's
RJ.
suspicious.
That is suspicious. Now
Right?
your fractured rib and your head injury looks even more suspicious.
I got some questions.
Yeah.
The police question Robert, and they ask him if he was the one that called in Zebb into work, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, did you just pretend to be him and call him out?
And he was like, "No, what do you mean? Can you do that?"
No, Robert fully admitted. He was like,
Oh.
oh, yeah. I did that because Zebb called me and asked me to call him out sick so that he wouldn't get in trouble with work. So I went ahead and I did that.
Why didn't he just call himself?
Right. Weird. How? Weird.
How strange.
Police are just like, the fuck, Robert? That's questionable.
Yeah.
I got my eye on you.
Got some questions.
Right. And then they go and they interview Misty and Wesley, and they learn about the little love triangle that was going on between Zebb and Misty and how Wesley was, like, not liking that, right?
Yeah.
However, investigators were not able to tie Zebb's disappearance to Wesley, even though he had the motive. Like, he's really the only one with a motive here
Yeah, sure.
so far. But they're like, we don't really have any evidence that ties us to you other than you were threatening him, but you weren't with him that night, you didn't see him, none of that shit, okay?
But also, Zebb hit RJ's car. That's a motive. Or it could be a motive, right? Like,
yeah,
hey, man,
for
the
Robert.
fuck?
Yeah. Could be. When the investigators pulled the phone records for Zebb's pager, they learned that he had gotten a page that night, the night of his disappearance.
Mm-hmm.
The number had actually come from Zebb's aunt's house number, like her landline.
Oh.
That's where the page came from.
Okay.
But what's weird is that Zebb wasn't like particularly close with his aunt or anything. Like they hadn't been talking leading up to his disappearance or anything like that. So it's really random. It's not like they had been chatting or that they were particularly close or anything like that. So it's really random that she paged him.
And then that he was like, I got an emergency to take care of.
Exactly.
Where they're like, hey, auntie, what was that emergency?
What the fuck is that about? So they go talk to his aunt. His aunt's name was Ina.
Oh,
And
Ina.
Ina.
What a fucking sweetheart.
I know. Now, Ina claimed that she hadn't paged her nephew. She was like, I don't know why that came from my landline number, but I never reached out to him.
Does old Aunt Ina have a son or daughter?
She doesn't, but what's interesting is that she said that that night that the page happened, she was at another woman's house, her really close friend named Tamra Tyler, who just so happened to be Misty's mom.
Oh.
This is getting tangled, okay?
What? Okay.
So, Zebb's aunt,
Yeah.
Ina, is best friends with Misty's mom.
Okay.
Okay?
And then this random fucking page came through.
From Ina's house.
Auntie's home.
Right.
But she wasn't there.
She was over at Misty's
Misty's
mom's house. Yeah. over at
But
Misty's
Misty
house.
could have not been there. She could have been like, hey, fucking Aunt Ina's over here. Let's go to her house.
Well, what Ina explained is that that night when she was over at Tamara's house, that Misty and Wesley were there too. So they're technically accounted for. I don't know how long or anything like that. Now, later on in this story, I don't know when, Ina ends up filing a police report stating that her house was broken into that night. I don't know how soon or anything. I don't know if it was same day or if it's like weeks later or what. But she goes and files a report saying that somebody broke into her house.
feel like Ina's on the wrong side here.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
So she claims that nothing was stolen from the break-in.
Yeah.
But
my phone bill went up, though.
Yeah, somebody made a page
by
on my account.
one text or one page.
But she said that things were moved around her house, like pictures and stuff had been shifted, suggesting that someone had broken in that night and possibly paged Zebb from her phone number.
Yeah.
Using her landline.
I don't know. If nothing was missing, are you calling the police? Or are you just convincing yourself that you were crazy?
That's why I think it happened in retrospect. She's probably like, oh that's
shit.
weird. And then now her son's missing and a call came from her house that she's saying she didn't happen.
Yeah.
Or she didn't do. So she's probably like, oh, fuck, someone was in my house. Like, I would probably deduce that too.
Yeah.
If that were the case, I'd assume that that's what happened. But I could easily talk myself out of it and be like, I'm just imagining that.
Yeah.
Until you tell me somebody made a call from my house, then I'd be like, that's fucking weird.
The call came from inside the house.
It's coming from inside. So that's his aunt.
Okay.
Now, on January 6th, Zebb's mom, her name is Denise, she gets a call from one of Zebb's classmates who also just so happens to be her coworker. Like, they both work together as a nurse at the local hospital. Zebb's mom, Denise, and Zebb's classmate, allegedly. I'm guessing
Zebb's
college.
Classmate, like 19.
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know. But they
I
work
bet she's not a nurse yet. Maybe she's like
a nurse assistant or something.
janitor.
Perhaps.
Something
That's what I
else.
did to pay for my college, so it could be.
Yeah.
But her coworker calls her, who knows Zebb,
Okay.
and says that she thinks that she saw the friend, right? And the coworker thinks that she saw Zebb's car, which was a Mazda Protege, in the parking lot at a barbecue restaurant that's across the street from the hospital that they work at. So the coworker calls and says, I swear I just saw Zebb's car, like leaving work, coming into work, whatever. I swear. And it's at the barbecue joint across the way.
Okay.
So Denise calls the police and is like, hey, go check out. I think my son's car's there. So when they get there, it is in fact Zebb's missing vehicle at this barbecue joint.
Abandoned?
Abandoned. The car had been found with its headlights still on.
Ooh.
The back window.
How has the battery not died yet?
How? It must have just been put there then.
I will
because
leave
this
my
is
car
days
running
later.
for like fucking 15 minutes.
And
it's like, anyway, you're not going anywhere for the rest of the day.
That's true about that Jeep. I've seen you stuck here. And then it just randomly starts again. And you're like,
Yeah.
whew, glad that worked out.
Thank God.
Let's go on to the next. Hope for the best.
Hope that doesn't happen again. No further investigation required.
Nope, it starts again. Oh my God. But okay, so the headlights are on. The back window had lipstick drawings on it, and it was of a pair of lips. Not a very good drawing of a pair of lips, I might add. It's like if I drew a pair of lips.
Okay.
And an exclamation mark, and it was in like pink lipstick.
Okay. Weird.
Inside the car was a live black Labrador puppy mix. Oh, the fuck? What the fuck?
What?
And the dog later was adopted by one of the investigators because this dog literally came out of nowhere. Nobody knows where the dog came from. There's just a dog in the car, and it's alive.
Had it pooped a lot and stuff?
They didn't say. It just said, like...
That's what a Mazda Protege looks like.
I
was expecting
imagine
something fancier.
Oh. You know, I was imagining something like your Pontiac.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
kind
it's just like a sedan
looking
thing. When you said Mazda, I was like, Miata. And then you're like, Protege. And I was like, must be better. It's probably even smaller than the Miata. Wonder what it looks like. It's not.
Or Maserati sauce. Oh, God. Okay, so the live puppy is in the car. It gets adopted by one of the investigators later on.
But we don't know how long it had been in the car or anything.
Idea.
But he was fine. And
But
he
he's
has
fine.
a home now. It's
Yeah, he's fine.
named
Puppy's
fucking
okay.
Charlie. He's
no
good.
idea. No idea where he came from, though, or what the fuck. Okay?
Very strange.
Very strange.
Who just leaves a dog?
A black lab mix, nonetheless.
A puppy?
Yeah.
Who leaves
kidding?
that?
I can't even walk away from them in the fucking window.
I know.
I can't imagine.
And someone had lipstick, so obviously there was a girl around.
Yeah. Men can't buy lipstick.
No, not for something like that. They would have bought a Sharpie or window chalk.
Something. So they also discover a plastic hotel key in the vehicle, but they're unable to trace it to any hotel.
That's not
Acceptable?
how
I
that
agree.
works.
I know. What the fuck?
Just go try hotels.
Like local, is this your key?
Yeah,
Is
how
this
many
the
could there
brand you
be?
use? I don't know, but they weren't able to tie it to any hotel.
This is a mystery. It says Hilton, Hamilton Inn. It says
Holiday Inn.
But the only hotels here only have one tree.
You know what I was thinking? It's probably like one of those Motel 6s or something, because they'll use like already branded stuff, you know? Like it's got like delivery pizza shit on
Papa
there.
John's, whatever
advertisements,
stuff on it.
yeah.
But even so, usually...
You could find, hey, do you use this key? Go knock on some motel doors.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. But anyway,
all right.
So they couldn't trace it back to any hotel local or anything like that.
Okay.
They also found several empty drink bottles in the car and a jacket that wasn't Zebb's.
Okay.
So somebody else drove the fucking car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm guessing. I'm throwing that out there.
Yeah. A lot of empty drink bottles. We could have DNA.
Could.
But
I don't know, though. So they also collected some forensic evidence from
all
the
those
car.
empty drink bottles?
Probably. But so far, none of it's matched to anyone.
Oh. So far,
girl.
In our story or in life?
In our story and life.
Oh, no.
So after the car was discovered, a couple called the police to report that they had seen someone driving that exact car around town. And the driver description that they gave, they drew a sketch up, and it matches really oddly to Misty.
What?
The gal in our love triangle.
Bum, bum, bum,
the love interest.
But they found a male's jacket?
It doesn't say if it's female or male. It just says
okay. I mean, I guess
jacket.
She could also be wearing anyone else's jacket.
Sure. Yeah. But witnesses describe Misty as driving his vehicle around.
Not good. Not a good look.
But the police already asked Misty shit, and she's not on their radar, really.
Well,
I mean, she's got whatever.
Yeah,
but they're not finding any evidence to tie her to it.
Yeah.
So Zebb's case goes cold shortly after this. And
oh my God.
No leads ever come out that brought the family closer to knowing what happened to Zebb that night or anything.
When people were like, hey, it looks like Misty, did the police go back and talk to her? Like,
I'm sure, but they didn't have anything. Now, to me, it sounds like there was a lot of opportunity for investigators to do more, but I could just be ill-informed, right? Like, it just says they collected forensic evidence and nothing ever tied to it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and assume that they
dusted for prints?
Or asked for DNA and shit, like,
yeah.
Is this your jacket, Misty?
Yeah,
like,
are you missing this puppy?
Do you wear pink lipstick? Are you missing a fucking live animal?
Yeah.
I'm hoping they did all that.
Because someone bought that dog.
Right? Or they found it?
Or I guess they could have found it.
Figure out where they'd be finding these cute puppies,
Honestly.
Right?
It doesn't work that way for me.
I know. The fucking stray lottery does not work in our favor.
Not ever.
Okay, so it goes cold. That is until March of 2015.
What?
So 15 years after Zebb's disappearance.
Oh my God.
Robert Jason Owens, the friend who last saw Zebb alive.
Oh, I recall.
RJO.
Uh-huh.
He gets arrested on a totally unrelated event.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So now this incident that he gets arrested for, turns out that Robert had gotten himself a little job on the side helping some family out doing like odds and end work or whatever.
Okay.
And the family that he was helping was a woman by the name of Christy Schuin, who was an up-and-coming Food Network star.
Ooh, okay.
I know. I had to look her up.
deal.
I didn't really recognize her that much, but this was early 2000s. It's not like I was really watching the Food Network that much.
Right.
And her husband, JT Codd. So now Robert Jason Owens worked for the couple.
Yeah.
Christy was 5 months pregnant at the time. They had been living in LA, and then they moved to North Carolina. And that's where they solicited this Robert Jason Owens dude to help them with shit around the house or whatever the fuck.
Okay.
Turns out sometime during this little time together of employment, Robert ends up getting arrested for breaking and entering and stealing some of the couple's items.
Uh-oh.
And he gets caught selling them at a local pawn shop, making money off of it, okay?
Yeah.
Now, not much is known about the actual events leading up to the murders that Robert Jason Owens commits on this couple.
Wait, what?
But Robert eventually admits that he had gotten his truck stuck nearby in a creek and that he had called the couple to come help him get his truck unstuck. And they were both allegedly standing in front of his truck trying to help him get out of the creek. And instead of hitting reverse, he accidentally gunned it in drive and ran the couple over. Okay.
What?
Okay. And this is just all happens in 2015, right?
Okay.
He fucking runs this couple over.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So he was arrested at a pawn shop for pawning stuff.
No. I don't know what order this all happens in. I think that the pawn shop happens after.
Okay, so he was like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs, might as well cash in.
I think so. I think I just kind of told that backwards. But yeah, so he says he runs them over.
Accidentally.
He carries Christy's body into their home.
You know, you're not stuck if you can go forward.
You're not stuck if you can go forward. And also, you're at their house. Like, there must have been a creek on the property or something, because then he carries her into their house and starts doing CPR on her.
She's one of them?
5 months pregnant. Yeah.
Oh, my God, that's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. But he can't get her back to life. So then he goes back out to JT, who's under the truck and clearly dead, and he just gives up. Like, there's nothing I can do. I already killed him. And so he says he panicked because he wasn't supposed to be driving due to a prior incident. I guess he didn't have his license or some shit. You should be panicking because you killed some people, not because you can't drive.
Oh, shit. I wasn't even supposed to be driving.
Exactly.
That's what they're going to focus on, my friend.
Exactly. And so he didn't want to get in trouble, so he carried JT's body into the double-wide trailer that he was living on in their property, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And he chopped up the body and burned it up in his wood stove. Ooh. He admits to this, okay?
Just the man's?
Well, there's more. The next morning, he wakes up and he goes back to the couple's home where Christy's just lying on the floor, dead. And then he takes her into the shower and he dismembers her and puts her in plastic bags and then carries her to his double-wide trailer wood stove and continues to burn her body.
Okay.
All right?
Sure.
So he said that he wanted their deaths to look like a robbery had gone bad. So then he went into the home, stole the shit, and that, I think, is when he gets arrested for pawning his shit off, right?
Okay.
But the days...
So many bad decisions here.
This isn't a well-thought-out plan.
You know what you would get in less trouble for? Vehicular manslaughter.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say that a lot of that is some bullshit and that he's lying and that he killed them. But we don't really know for sure because if you'll remember, he burned all the bodies and we're only hearing what he's choosing to tell us.
Oh, my God.
So I don't know how much of any of it is true.
Oh, God. I hate this.
Right?
This has fucking escalated, by the way.
Girl, I thought I was done with the story.
I thought you were too. I was like, we are wrapping up.
A whole ass fucking Food Network star? What the fuck? So the days following the murders, Robert used Christy's phone to send her family text messages so that they wouldn't wonder about her going missing or anything.
What? That is crazy.
That is crazy. And he was saying, like, as if he were pretending to be her, that they were sick, that her and JT were sick, so that's why they weren't coming around. Like, oh, we're just not feeling well, right? So that worked for a while.
But you wanted it to look like a burglary?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You generally, if you get robbed and murdered, you're generally not texting anybody.
Right? I know. But then I think
this is two different stories that you're fucking playing here.
I know, but then I don't know what his plan was, just to hope that nobody would find the bodies or figure anything out, that they just went missing. Yeah.
And then just be like, I guess
well, that's fucking what happened with Zebb, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess that's very true.
Okay, so I don't really know, but...
He's like, in my experience...
This works.
You just have to lie for a little while.
Right? And it'll just all go away. So after Robert pawned off the couple's items, he took his wife out to dinner with the money that he earned from pawning them, and he filled up his gas tank. The police were able to get a warrant and collect enough evidence to prove that he had, in fact, murdered the couple. Like, they went to his double-wide trailer and shoveled out the wood stove or whatever, and they found all these random chunks that were like bones and all this other stuff. Yeah. So they were able to arrest him, and he received 60 to 75 years without the possibility of parole for that event. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he is a known murderer.
Yeah.
Right? And he admits to it.
Uh-huh.
In the seizure of all the materials from his double-wide trailer and all that shit that the investigators collected, they discovered fabric, leather materials, hard fragments, none of which were confirmed to be directly tied to Zebb publicly, but it's kind of weird, right? Like, he could potentially have fucking Zebb evidence at his house, but it's never confirmed. Like, I can't read anything, nothing ever said that leather piece was fucking Zebb's jacket or anything, but there are extra things that are mentioned in the warrant that they collected.
Okay.
Then, in July of 2017, Robert Jason Owens was charged with the first-degree murder of Zebb Quinn. This was interesting because there had not been any body of Zebb or anything. It's not like a body popped up or anything like that. But they must have had enough circumstantial evidence to suggest that Robert was their guy. So Robert admits that it was actually his uncle who killed Zebb.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Okay, so he says that his uncle had been hired by Wesley.
Oh my God.
Yeah, to kill him because he was talking to Misty. So the story goes...
Could you imagine if your nephew called me? Like, if your son called me and was like, hey...
I got a problem.
Yeah. This guy likes my chick.
Yeah.
Can you fucking kill him?
Yeah. You'd be like, no, man, we're going to do something
That's not how the world works, because you're a fucking child.
Right.
What do you mean?
What do you fucking mean?
What uncle, what adult was like, yeah, okay.
Doesn't sound like Robert Jason Owens really comes from a great background. From what
not.
I'm gathering here.
Yeah.
You know, homie murdered people. And also, this is coming from his side of events, okay?
True.
So he says that it was his uncle who killed Zebb, and that his uncle had been hired by Wesley, right? Because he was talking to Misty.
How much he get?
Robert pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of accessory after the fact of first-degree murder. And Robert said that on the night Zebb had been killed, they both had unknowingly been lured by his uncle into the Pisgah National Forest. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Okay.
Under the guise of meeting Misty. So allegedly, the uncle was like, hey, come out here and you can hang out with Misty. And the couple went. Robert Jason Owens and Zebb went to the forest. And when they got there, it wasn't Misty in the woods, but instead it was Robert's uncle, and he shot Zebb with a .22 rifle and then dismembered and burned his body.
Jesus.
Robert admitted to helping his uncle in the cover-up, and now the uncle doesn't get charged with anything because the uncle just died in the story, like in 2015 or some shit.
Yeah.
He dies, and so he's a perfect scapegoat for Robert Jason Owens, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we can't really prove whether or not the uncle did it, but we're just going off of Robert's, like, what he says.
Did the uncle know Wesley?
I don't fucking know, man.
I guess they're all fucking intertwined with
I
Ida
guess,
and
shit.
stuff.
Prosecutors don't believe Robert's story very much, right? They think that he's the one who did the murdering of Zebb, but they don't have a body or any strong evidence, so they just have to go with what...
Accessory.
Exactly.
Wow.
And he's already in for life for the other murders.
Yeah.
So Zebb doesn't really get much justice here.
No.
But Robert does get sentenced to 2.5 to 15 3/4 years in prison to be served concurrently with his life sentence of the other 2 murders. And Robert Jason Owens said, because they were like, well, now hold up. Like, why did you burn this family, like this couple? Why did you cut them up and burn them when this accident happened?
He was like, because that's what I saw old uncle do.
That's exactly what he said. He said, that's what my uncle did to Zebb, and so that's what I did. Like, that's what you do. So
okay.
I kind of think it was Robert Jason Owens.
I kind of think it was Robert Jason Owens. If there was an uncle in all of this, I mean, he just completely fucked up his nephew and his nephew's life and his whole trajectory in life. Like, you know, teaching him how to murder somebody and stuff. That's pretty fucked up.
That's really fucked up.
But also, like you said, if he had just died, it feels like a real good scapegoat. But that's so strange.
That's really strange. But do you think, I kind of think maybe they got an argument or something that night and he did hit his truck and then fucking Robert Jason Owens lost his goddamn mind and killed him.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Or his car didn't hit his truck, but Robert Jason Owens hit Zebb with his truck.
Or something, because Robert Jason Owens has rib injuries and head injuries that night. So there must have been an altercation.
Yeah. There was. There had to have been. Like I said, a fractured rib does not come from a fender bender.
No,
like
no.
Your car would be totaled. You had to have been hit.
Right. So maybe if his truck was fine, maybe there was like a physical altercation and not like a vehicular one.
Yeah. I wonder if it's all true. Like Wesley did hire, but he hired RJ.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Isn't that fucking crazy, though?
He's got no fucking skin in the game.
He's got no skin in the game. I don't know, but he turns out to go murdering people later, so it sounds like he's not in a very good headspace.
Apparently.
And how crazy is it that the person you decide to murder is like an up-and-coming TV star? Like, maybe lay a little lower, my friend.
That is just crazy, though. Like, why? Because that almost feels like it could have been an accident or something gone awry. I don't think it happened the way that he's saying that it did. Like, my truck was stuck and then they both stood in front of it. Like, that's not how...
Maybe he got busted stealing something and he fucking freaked out and killed them because he didn't want to get caught or some shit.
Yeah. Maybe something like that.
Maybe it could be drugs involved.
Yeah, I guess.
Speculating.
Still some kind of a accident, because that's so crazy.
It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. And the fact that we don't have a body or anything. But we did get him declared, I had so much to do in this. But Zebb does get declared murdered, you know.
Yeah, like, that's lucky.
Yeah, but the family doesn't have anything, man. They got his car back, I suppose. Well, I want to know more about the jacket and the perfume and that fucking dog. Oh, also, the couple that got murdered, they had dogs. So then I was thinking, well, I guess this is later in the story, though.
That's 15 years later.
Yeah, because that's probably why I didn't write it, because I'm dumb. But I was like, oh, maybe he got the dog from...
one of their dogs?
Yeah.
No, that would have been way too late. But where does a puppy come from?
But what happened that a couple days later, his car shows up with pink lipstick, a jacket, empty bottles, and a dog?
He could have just been taking it out for a joyride and gone flirting around with some girl. Draw lips and an exclamation mark on the rear window.
But they say that Misty was driving it.
Could have allegedly. Just been a chick. Yeah. Long brown hair. Whatever. Right. You know? I don't know what she looks like. But, you know, a girl driving and then you're like, oh, you also have long hair.
Right? I don't know. It's also weird. And then the family thinks that the car was put at the barbecue joint on purpose. Like intentionally thinking so that they'll see it because the mom works there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good hiding spot for it.
I don't think it was intended to be hidden because the lights were on, all that shit was on it, you know?
Yeah, to leave the lights on, too. It's very being drawn attention to. And someone would notice a dog in a car. Like, 100%. People break windows for dogs in cars.
Exactly. Even in the 2000s, you think?
Yeah.
I'd hope.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, we knew about, like, kids and shit.
Yeah, we understood what, like, heat would do.
Isn't that crazy? I don't have much answers for you. Other than poor Zebb.
Poor Zebb.
Yeah.
Misty's not worth it.
I don't think so. I don't know. And Misty and Wesley never got in any trouble or anything. I mean, Robert was the one who was last with him. He is the most suspicious.
Sure, but even if Robert is saying that Wesley hired Robert's uncle, wouldn't Wesley be fucking talked to? Like,
yeah, I would think so. Okay, so then I think that the theory was, or maybe this is just what my own head was doing, but like if Misty and Wesley were hanging out that night and then saw his aunt over hanging out, if they left and then just went to her house to page him to try to trap him, like, oh, come to your aunt's house.
Yeah.
And they lay in wait, and then, but then that never happened. Or I guess we don't really know. I don't think they ever got there.
Well, there was a conversation. But if he called his aunt's house, he spoke to someone.
And he was mad. He came out mad. He came out frantic. Like, I gotta go. I got something to go take care of.
Well, it could have been Wesley or somebody at his aunt's house and is like, I'm in your aunt's house right now. Your aunt's not even here. Oh, is this your picture? Picture's shifted around. Here's you as a fucking baby next to your cousin or whatever. And then he's like, he's at my aunt's house. I gotta go.
Right. I don't know.
That's fucking wild.
I know. All for some chick, allegedly. I don't know. Not enough to die for.
No.
Fuck, it's awful. So, if you guys want to check out pictures pertaining to this case, go to our social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Our handle is @ISGD Podcast. You can email us at isgdpodcast@gmail.com, or you can snail mail us at
P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
And we love you guys. Toodles.
Bye. Sorry this one's late. We love you still.
It's because we're all dying.
Please love me.